Hello and welcome. I want to spend some time focusing on the national consequences of this round of assembly elections. And joining us now at the India Today Conclave East, just hours after having presented the state's budget, is the Finance Minister of Assam and the BJP's master strategist or Chanakya for the Northeast, Hemanta Biswa Sarma. And squaring off against him, we have his one-time party colleague and now sitting on the opposite side of the political fence, the Chief National Spokesperson of the Congress Party, Randeep Singh Surjewala. Hemanta Sarma and Randeep Singh Surjewala, thank you so much for joining us here at the India Today Conclave, and welcome. I want to start by asking Hemanta Sarma about what, in the way that he sees it, are the national ramifications of this round of assembly elections. In Assam, in Bengal, in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, in Puducherry, what do you think is at stake for national politics? Mr. Sarma.
I think I look at it from the perspective of our party. As you know that 5 years ago, our national party president Amit Shah has called for a national expansion of BJP, basically to the south, east and northeast. So last 5 years we have expanded to northeast. So this election will further reaffirm that yes, BJP is finally there in Northeast, and now that will be a settled provision. Expansion of this election will also make BJP a huge political force in West Bengal. We are going to form government there, and probably will show extremely good result in Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, etc. So basically, BJP will emerge as a complete pan-national party out of this election. And of course, last Lok Sabha has already established that. And this election will take BJP to a further consolidating position in the national politics. I am also of the view that we have seen various agitation across the country. So this election will further reaffirm that people of India is with Narendra Modi and will be with Narendra Modi. I think that message will also go from East and Northeast India very loud and clear.
Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala, in the way that the Congress sees it, how do you assess the national ramifications of this election? Hemanta Sarma speaks of expanding the political and geographic reach of the BJP, which if they win Bengal and now they're in the fight, would be a huge achievement, whereas over the last 5 years, the Congress seems to continue to cede political ground to the BJP. Mr. Surjewala, opening comments.
I don't know what the false bravado is about. Bharatiya Janata Party is not even fighting the election in 3 out of 5 states. Whether it is Tamil Nadu, Puducherry or Kerala, they are not even present on the ground. Let's come back to Bengal and Assam. Other than Assam, where they are in power, Bengal, they are making their first bid. Yes, there is a lot of pomp and show, but we all know that at the end of the day, like the last time, it would turn out to be a damn squib. So, really, Bharatiya Janata Party is contesting 1 out of the 5 states. And if by expansion, Hemanta Sharma ji means expansion by defections in the Northeast, yes. They have succeeded by buying over, by subjugating the people's mandate and by trampling upon every constitutional mode. But let me assure him, as also all friends of the BJP, that people of India are not up for sale. And you cannot buy legislators and win victories every time. So I do not think really BJP is a player in these 5 elections. Vis-a-vis Congress, as you are aware, we are in power in Puducherry. We are the principal opposition party in Assam, as also in Kerala. And our allies and us are the principal party, and we are likely to do extremely well. What if the result is 5-0? I would wonder what would Hemanta ji say on that day.
Let's spend a moment talking about the farmers' agitation which Hemanta Sarma referred to, Mr. Surjewala. And the point is, would you concede that these 5 states, in some senses, not entirely, but will reflect whether or not the point that you're making about the farmer agitation being a national agitation against the Modi government, it having widespread political support, etc., is true? Because if the BJP does well, for example, in West Bengal, is able to retain power in Assam, then would it not prove the point that Hemanta Sarma is seeking to make, that this is a very, very restricted agitation and no reflection on the popularity of the Modi government?
Well, first and foremost, to undermine and underestimate the pain, suffering and anguish of India's farmers, 62 crore India's farmers, is perhaps undermining this country itself, as also everything that our democracy represents. I understand the optimism that Hemantoji has. For agrarian commodities are slightly different in Assam compared to rest of the country. I understand there are tea gardens and its own specific issues. Of course, there is paddy and other crops that are grown. But right from West Bengal up to Kerala and on the other side up to Gujarat and Jammu and Kashmir, farmers in one way or the other, including in Assam, are up in arms. May I just give a very small example, and Hemantoji with his experience and wisdom should be able to answer that. They are saying one nation, one market. Will Mr. Hemanto Sharma tell us and enlighten us? How would a tea farmer of Assam bring his product to Delhi or Mumbai or Chennai and be able to market and sell it there? That's an impossibility. When you demolish the established grain markets and structures, minimum support price mechanism, of course for tea there are different mechanisms, will just cease to exist for the principal crops of wheat, of paddy, of cotton, of maize and of other crops. And that is what the agitation is all about. For Prime Minister Modi wants to snatch away the agrarian commodities from the hands of millions and millions of people and sell it to 2 or 3 cronies, and that's why Congress pointed out that it's a hum do hamare do sarkar.
Hemanta Biswa Sarma, let's spend a moment talking about the Citizenship Amendment Act and NRC, which is a big issue in Assam, and especially in Upper Assam, a lot of reservations around it, and in some senses, the BJP seems to be in a bind, because in Bengal, the view on the CA, NRC is different from the view in Assam. Is this in some senses now a political bind for the BJP, where you don't know how to deal with this issue, because if you do it, you are doomed, and if you don't do it, you are doomed?
Rahul, I did not want to interfere when my good friend Randeep was speaking. First of all, let me clarify to him that in Assam, BJP has won popular mandate in 2016, and during the course of last 5 years, there was not a single defection either to BJP or from the BJP, and it is just a popular government owned by the mandate of the people. If a government is owned by a mandate of the people, I don't know how it can be linked up to defection. BJP has established its government in Arunachal Pradesh, in every state of northeastern region, by virtue of people's support, and there is no question of indulging any defection. Now BJP is a party people of Northeast believe, and we are going to win this election also on popular mandate. I think Randeep must rectify his sense of history. Next, regarding the farmers' agitation, I will give you only one example, that earlier we in Assam used to sell tea to the Bisholia, like what is happening across India today so far as rice, maize and other crops are concerned. Once we establish e-market networking enter India, our tea prices has jumped up. Now, for the first time in the history, the tea garden owners and the laborers are getting a huge benefit out of one nation, one market. I do not want to go into debate on that issue because our national party spokesmen are answering adequately to the Randeep riotics, but at the same time, by if Narendra Modi is somehow trying to erase the commission system, Bisholia system then I think country should support him. Congress party must remember what Mr. Kapil Sibal has said in the parliament during the regime of Congress party. Congress has a habit of changing people. Congress has a habit of disowning people. But once people of India goes by the remark of Kapil Sibal made in the parliament, I think there will be no two stand that Rahul Gandhi is changing his viewpoint with every opportunity because he sees that in every agitation he can become prime minister, which will never happen in this country. Rahul, now coming to your point on CA, now Assam position is completely settled. Neither in Upper Assam nor in Lower Assam, we are disowning our ideological stand. CA is our ideological stand, and that ideological stand will be applicable to Assam, West Bengal, and to the pan-India. We are not going to say that we don't support CA in Assam, and will not go to say in West Bengal that we support CA in West Bengal. Party stand will be uniform, whether we own or we lost. Party on ideologically remains strong, and we have to support the Hindus and we have to support the minorities from Bangladesh and Pakistan. That is our ideological stand, and we are not going to dilute that.
No, some of the comments that you've made, Mr. Sarma, are often very controversial, especially when you said that you don't want the minorities to give you votes. You don't care whether the Muslims vote for your party or not. Now, you've earlier been part of the Congress. Now, as a BJP leader, and that also one of the tallest leaders of the BJP in the Northeast, how appropriate is it for you to be making such comments?
No, Rahul, first of all, my stand in the politics is very, very clear. I said in the assembly that we work for the development of the minorities in last 5 years. This is the first 5 years in the recent history of Assam where we have not seen any communal conflict, and we have seen development across the states, we have seen development across the communities. But the question is that in Assam, there is a recent development that certain so-called Muslim people has claimed themselves as a Mia, although Mia is a word which is being taken out of reverence, but in Assam, a certain section of people has developed a community, so-called community called Mia. They have developed Mia poetry, Mia language. They want to establish their museum in our Shankardev Kalakshetra. So when I say I don't want vote of Mia, I mean that the cultural groups or ethnic groups who are trying to sabotage Assamese culture. I am not meaning Muslim, although I am very firm and clear that those who are trying to destabilize Assam culture, Assam history, and our long legacy, I don't want their vote. I may lose, but I don't want vote. I do not want the vote who are enemy of Assamese people and Assam's culture.
Mr. Surjewala, in Assam, the Congress is tied up with the AIUDF. For the longest time, you didn't want to tie up with the Ajmals in Assam because you thought that the Congress by itself is strong enough to come to power. Now, within 5 years, you have to depend on the crutches of another party, which you opposed for the longest time, whose politics Tarun Gogoi used to have huge ideological problems with. Is the Congress now so enfeebled that even in a state like Assam, you don't want to go it alone, that you need support of alliance partners to be able to take on the BJP?
Well, Rahul, there are two important facets that you raise. Firstly, Congress is not in alliance with just one party. We form a large umbrella coalition of parties, and the party that you named is an important part thereof, that coalition. And that coalition is not for assumption of power alone. That coalition is to rid Assam and Assamese people of the misrule of the Bharatiya Janata Party, whereby doublespeak and deception has become the characteristic style of the Sonowal government. We just heard my learned friend speaking about CAA. Well, we all know that why has CAA not been implemented? Why have the rules not been notified? only because they know that they have no face to show in Assam, for Assamese people are up in arms against the law. Is that not the only reason why the Home Minister of the country said the other day, after Assam and Bengal elections, we will implement the law? But when they brought the law, they brought it in such a jiffy, in such a hurry, that when we said send it to a select committee for discussion in parliament and for deliberation, they said, no, we need to implement it now. They permitted agitations to happen, polarization to take place, but they knew fully well that their entire party is up in arms, including the Chief Minister of Assam had to make statements about CAA which ran completely contrary to the stance of the central government. They are again trying to befool the people of Assam by deferring its implementation. They will seek votes, they will not implement the law. Once it is done, then millions and millions of Assamese origin people, minorities people, all of them will be denied citizenship. The whole idea is to polarize, the whole idea is to divide, the whole idea is to spread hatred. And the coalition that Congress party has constituted is not only for assumption of power alone, but to ensure that there is a broad umbrella of ideological moorings whereby people of Assam, their original culture, as also their traditions and progress is taken care of, and that is the essential fundamentals. We do not indulge in doublespeak and deception like the BJP and the Sonowal government.
Dr. Sarma, respond to that. You're being accused of, wanting to polarize. आप जलेबी बना रहे हो CA के issue पे, you are delaying it because you're worried of political consequences, and if it's actually an ideological commitment, you would have pushed it through. Instead of pushing it now, you're saying let vaccination happen and then we'll see.
Yes. Rahul, ideologically we have committed to the people of India that we will bring Ram Janambhoomi, will build Ram Temple. Ideologically we committed people that we will abolish Article 370. And probably at the right time, in right moment, we did all these ideological things, and people of India are witnessing our ideological commitment. As far as I know, I represent the BJP in Assam to a certain extent. I represent government of Assam to a certain extent. And I am saying equivocally in the national television that BJP is not going to dilute its ideological position on CAA. But timing has to be determined by the government of India, considering the present ground situation, present reality of the nation, including COVID-19 and in vaccination program. Rahul, I want to convey my deep congratulations to Randeep Bhai, because you have come out and you are saying that you want to protect Assamese culture with Badruddin Ajmal as a allies. Very idea of Badruddin Ajmal, when a Assamese person heard his name, I think people got so angry, people got so agitated, and you want to take that person in with you and you want to save Assamese culture? The person and the people who has captured our monastery in Botodroba, who has captured the land in Kaziranga, who is destroying Assamese culture, Assamese, the very meaning of Assamese ethos. If today what Congress is doing today by aligning with Badruddin Ajmal, you have betrayed the trust. People of Assam has little trust. What has left with the Assamese origin people with the Congress for all time to come. I am feeling sad because I was in Congress, but the way Congress has aligned with Badruddin Ajmal today, Randeep, make my word, for next generation, people of Assamese origin will not spare Congress party, and people, new generation of Assamese always hate Congress because you have given political space to Mr. Badruddin Ajmal, who is enemy of our culture, who is enemy of our composite Assamese culture. Make my this word, write in this book, write, just remember this, that by aligning with Badruddin Ajmal, you have betrayed the people of Assam. And my request to you, if you have time, if you have some compassion to people of Assam, if you have some good feelings to people of Assam, still tell Rahul Gandhi not to align with Badruddin Ajmal. We will be politically benefited. But I see that Congress will be get away from the minds and hearts of Assamese people for all time to come. You are committing a
Okay, so
huge
Randeep Surjewala, the Ajmals are
aligning-
considered friends of the illegal migrants who came in, they're helping with documentation, and that's a key part of that vote bank. Hemanta Sarma says not just is this political harakiri, this is also against India's larger national interest.
Mr. Hemanta Sharma has a lot of advice to offer to me, as also to the Congress party, and I thank him for his compassion and kindness. But he forgot to answer as to why did Mr. Sonowal oppose the CAA law, his own chief minister. While he says he speaks for the BJP, but sadly he is not the chief minister. The leader of his party and the chief minister of Assam is Mr. Sonowal and not Mr. Hemanta Sharma, much as I would like to see him even as the BJP chief minister, because after all he is a good person and a good human being. But that apart, the solid point remains, they implemented the CAA, they brought it in parliament, they refused to discuss it, they refused to send it to a select committee, they polarized the entire country, and now for over a year, they are refusing to implement it. And none less than the Chief Minister of Assam, who is also the leader of the BJP, under whose face and in whose name Mr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma will be seeking votes, opposes the CAA. And Mr. Hemanta Sharma here on your television channel says that no, there is a national policy that we will implement post-vaccination. Was there corona when they brought in CAA? Was there corona anywhere in the realm? Why are they trying to mislead the people of Assam? It is the entire Northeast that is being misled by this. And he mentioned Arunachal Pradesh. I just want to take 10 seconds. We saw as to how an entire legislative assembly met in a hotel, and an entire legislative assembly defected, not once, not twice, but thrice. I think if you are talking about expansion by defection, Arunachal Pradesh is an ideal example, and many other states in the Northeast. So let's face facts and reality check. Instead of abusing an individual or a political party, Mr. Sharma may like somebody, Mr. Sharma may not like somebody. But I believe that he can contribute to the development of Assam, even though we may be on the opposite sides. But the truth remains that they only believe in deception as also hoodwinking the people of Assam and the entire Northeast. And I think that would be decided in these elections.
Do you feel bad, Dr. Sarma? Respond to what he said. But a lot of people who track your politics, track the politics of Assam and the Northeast have this question. Do you feel shortchanged that you were number 2 in the Assam government when you were in the Congress and you're number 2 now, whereas given the political value you've added to the BJP in Assam and across the Northeast and your popular support on the ground, many on the outside, like your well-wisher or so-called well-wisher Mr. Surjewala, believe that you're more than competent to be the Chief Minister of Assam?
Yes, Rahul, when I was in Congress party, they did not even consider me to be a minister in government of Assam, because I resigned in 2014, and till 2016 they did not remember my name also. But let us not discuss this personal issue. First of all Congress legislature party also met in hotel. So let us not make it a point that only BJP legislature party in Arunachal met in hotel. Congress legislature party also met in hotel, and I have seen that probably in 15 years many times. The point here, Randeep Bhai is repeatedly referring that Sarbananda Sonowal has opposed CAA. I have never come across a single statement of him. Rather, we have together attended rallies after rallies supporting CAA. So let us not go to the national audience in a manner that as if Sarvananda Sonowal is the other side of the platform or other side of the ideological front and we are on the other side. BJP is one, and BJP as an ideology, we are committed to this cause, and will prove again and again. When Ram Janambhoomi was delayed, people were questioning, look, you have now national government, you have prime minister, why you have not done Ram Mandir? We done it in the appropriate time. We will not go by the time which will be determined by our opposition, but we will implement it when we feel it appropriate, because this is our prerogative to do that.
Mr. Surjewala, as we come to the final part of this interaction at the India Today Conclave East, I want to talk about the Congress party, because you're seeing it from the inside. Dr. Sarma is seeing it from the outside after having been on the inside. Is the Congress party suffering because of a leadership crisis? You've seen your own internal opposition in the form of the G23, which even the Prime Minister spoke of in Parliament. And you're at this moment very, very close to Rahul Gandhi, and you're seeing his politics from the inside. Dr. Sarma is a bitter critic. How do you see this question about whether the Congress is suffering and not able to play an effective role of an effective opposition because of the fact that you don't have strong leadership?
Well, Rahul, let me begin by saying that whenever a political party is out of power, and whenever a political party loses power, some amount of churning always takes place. And we believe in Congress party that it is healthy. Whom Prime Minister would like to call dissidents, for he doesn't think that Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi or Lalkrishan Advani ji or Sanjay ji or many others whom he has forcibly and compulsorily retired and sent them to another era were dissidents. We believe that people who have a viewpoint, whether it is the so-called 23 leaders or others, they are always given a space to say what they want to say and will still continue to be part of our family and contribute to the growth of the party. That is the Congress party. We will not throw out a Sanjay Joshi and retire him from politics. We will not retire our own Guru Lalkrishan Advani or Murli Manohar Joshi ji. We will not forcibly retire Kalraj Mishra ji and many others, a long list of people who were opposed to Narendra Modi ji and Amit Shah ji. But that is for them to decide. But it shows the culture and character of a party and its people and its leaders. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, some may like him, some may not like him, which is perfectly okay in a democracy. Everybody cannot like him, like everybody does not like Mr. Narendra Modi, has the capacity to assimilate criticism, to face criticism, not be dejected about it, and to forcefully carry out the ideological moorings as also ideas of the Congress party forward.
Okay.
Many times we have won under his leadership, many times we have lost under his leadership.
Okay.
But the important part is that the idea of the Congress, which is almost akin to the idea on which this nation was founded, our forefathers founded it, remains firm in our belief, and we continue to tread that path strongly.
Okay. Brief final words, Dr. Sharma, in response to
but we will not be deterred.
The leadership crisis in the Congress. Final words.
Rahul, I do not want to comment on the leadership crisis of the Congress party because Randeep Bhai may be a little upset with me, but all along I am saying that the way Congress party is managing, the way they have converted it to a family affairs, I am all along saying that Congress party will not able to come back, and also the leader who is in abstaining. I mean, with an abstain leader, when there will be action in India, your leader will be found in another country of the globe. So I think with that kind of leadership, you cannot compete with Narendra Modi. And I always believe that let Rahul Gandhi continue to be in Indian politics, because as long as he is there, Congress will not come back to power. You cannot dream of coming back to power. But one thing I must congratulate Randeep Bhai for remembering so many towering personality of BJP party. I am very happy that you have remembered so much grand leaders of our party, and I am sure that the way you are now almost analyze every personality of BJP from Lal Krishna Advani ji to Murali Manohar Joshi, you will inspired by their sacrifice. You will be inspired by the dedication of their commitment to the nation, and you will be with us soon. I am very much convinced about that.
अरे ये तो आपको जॉब ऑफर देके चले गए मिस्टर सुरजेवाला. He's offering you to join the BJP.
इतना बढ़िया अडवाणी जी का बारे में बोला, इतना बढ़िया
He's seeking to poach you.
बारे में बोला, मेरा तो गर्व हो गया.
He's poached so many in the northeast. He says आप भी आ जाओ.
राहुल जी, हेमंतो जी बहुत अच्छे आदमी हैं. थोड़ा सा राजनीतिक तौर से रास्ता भटक गए हैं, पर उनकी घर वापसी भी कभी ना कभी बहुत जल्द आगे आने वाले समय में होगी. और फिर हम तो मेरे से भी टेलीविजन चैनल पर जानते हैं.
काउंटर जॉब ऑफर डॉक्टर शर्मा.
बीजेपी लीडर्स का बारे में रणदीप भाई आप जानते हैं, मेरा तो गर्व हो गया. इसलिए मैं जब कांग्रेस में था, इतना बीजेपी का बारे में मेरा रिसर्च नहीं था. आपने इतना बढ़िया रिसर्च किया है, राइट फ्रॉम लाल कृष्ण आडवाणी टू मुरली मनोहर जोशी टू कलराज मिश्र. आई एम श्योर यू विल बी इंस्पायर्ड बाय
दोनों पार्टियों के एक्सपर्ट हो गए, तो अब तो दोनों साइड को जानते हैं.
Okay, I'm going to leave it over there. A job offer, a counter job offer, ghar vapsi, and okay, you come join us. Let's see what happens. Randeep Singh Surjewala and Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma for joining us at the India Day Conclave East for a national conversation in the middle of this Bengal election. Thank you so much. Thank you.